Welcome to this episode of Calls and Actions, trade with a higher probability of success. We're going to look at some progress and reviews on some already triggered alerts from the STS pivot system charting package brought to you by swingtradersetups.com. Each video will be looking at some charts that had the trigger prices right on the charts. Could have been day trades, some of them will be swing trades many days into the progress. Others may be ready to reverse or re-entry into the trend that's already prevailing. This video has been brought to you by Swing Trader Setups STS Pivot System Charting Package, where we offer a 7-day free trial offer, 10-day money-back guarantee. We have your trigger prices right on the chart before they trigger. Sometimes, depending on the factor you're using, if you're looking at this for swing trading versus day trading, you may get this alert on the chart 10 minutes before the trigger or an hour and 10 minutes before the trigger. If it's a swing trade setup, it may be 3 days away. You have plenty of time to study the chart, look at the support, resistance, other inflection areas, look at option setups and so forth, and plan your trade. You're going to be looking at a lot of charts that came off our STS Pivot System charting package. It's a 7-day trial offer, money back guarantee. Trigger prices right on the charts, day traders, swing traders, and option traders. Easy to follow charts. We got the scanners pre-built. All you have to do is load in your symbols. We teach you how to do that. We teach you what to expect the chart to do as it comes down through the lines, and then revisit and trigger the sell. And the price is right on the chart. Trigger prices on your charts, pre-built scanner, 7-day money back guarantee. This is a chart I use a lot intraday trading. Has inflection points. The green line is yesterday's high. It transposes into a little different color on today's chart. So you have yesterday's high. Blue line's the open. That's yesterday's open. Yellow line is yesterday's close. Pink lines are yesterday's low transposed over to today, and then we make new lows as we go down with the new pink line. And we have the VWAP. So we've got open, yesterday's close, the VWAP, and the previous day's highs and lows. Those are inflection points, and we like to take those, and this was today's high, this little green line, and this is yesterday's low. So as this stock came back up, this is our 25 algo overlaid on this chart, and this is our 50 down at the bottom just for reference point. Both of these are in a downtrend, and as we get this retracement, which is a fairly it's $1, a little more than $1 here on this 25 factor, probably $1.25. We run up, we know we're looking for the retracement short. Right on our chart gives that price. As we rise, we can look at our chart and pick up the trigger price back to the downside on both of these charts, the 50 factor and the 25. But when you're running into an inflection point, it just adds strength to the trade setup. You're going into that old low. Old low was supports, now resistance. Here's an old high from the morning high. All that's lining up, and you know you come back down through your VWAP and your open price. That even adds momentum to your trade, and then you get this nice sell-off that can follow through. We're going to do a video for training out on that. Just want to let everybody know that. Really watching this chart and all of these retracements back into the retracement setup to take the trade with the trend, and that'll be out later on this evening over the weekend. So look at some setups from the yesterday's trading. Here was Caterpillar, early morning, 9:30 a.m. It breaks down right here immediately, giving this trigger, chopped around in the early morning. We always like to let them settle in. Well, it ends up giving a perfect retracement back up right where we want to find it at for the retracement trigger. Right on the chart, gives the price, what it's going to be when it pulls back It's about it's a 50 algo, so we let it pull back about $1. Refer to the things I was just showing you on the inflection points for verifications, and you got a really nice sell-off on this 146. This came in about 10:15, it looks like, to sell off down to 141 by day's end. Now, a lot of these charts, we're seeing all this momentum intraday right now, but as time progresses, the market's going to settle down, and these are the kind of setups you'll look for to take a multi-day option trade on. And the volatility will settle down and they'll be affordable. So learning our system while the market's doing all this craziness is a good thing to be doing. You can get out and watch our videos on the YouTube channel, all kind of different training videos on the charting system, and learn what we're looking for. We call this the trend shift pivot zone, and we want to be a trend shift. We don't want something going sideways chopping. That's just ranging. We want an upward momentum that we're going to shift the trend, because then you could actually draw a trend line and you break in that trend line, and that's what we're looking for. Once we break it, we're looking for these kind of setups to get involved in the trades. So that's what it's all about. It's a trend shift. We have 2 alerts to the short side, 2 alerts to the long side, one being the trigger price for the watch on the sell-off, and then the others are going in and retracing and continuing down. This is a chart of WAT on the same day breakdown, 50 again. Big trend setup. You can go coordinate your entry with your 25. Make sure you've got it in a red too. And we've got a nice breakdown here at 10:16 a.m. when this triggered. Our little box comes in over here telling you the short watch 1x and 2x gives you this price prior to the trigger. Once the trigger takes place, the box disappears. You can know the box was there by this yellow line and green line. If it's pointing down, it's showing a 2x on the yellow, 1x on the green in the box. Signifies it was there. This has to show up for that box to appear, and then once it disappears to the downside, it plots the exact trigger price on the chart, which stays there until the shift goes back red and green. So this triggered at $200.14, 10:16 a.m. to the penny, to the second on the trigger price. You've got about a $6 sell-off on this stock, probably a little better. Shopify, this actually triggered on the day before, on the 5th. Perfect little setup. We love to go down into out of the green zone area and keep the green setup. We know we're going to get that retracement. This gives a retracement. You could almost short this at the top right here after you've come this deep in here. It's giving the trigger price on the chart, as we just discussed, where it's going to trigger back to the short side, and it did, and it came on down by the end of the day into this area. The next morning, this went down fast with the market, quick bounce, gap down most likely, quick bounce right where we want to see it at, right before 10 a.m. Got the bounce here, retracement set up, and then you got a sell off from about $4 off of that. So taking your list of stocks at the end of the day that are just triggering into this 50 red zone that had triggered during the day gives you a great watch list for tomorrow's shorts. You want to be on the bigger factors when you're trying to set that up, not the 25s. This is FedEx. Early in the morning, it was chopping around with the market. Gives that trigger at 10:46 a.m., 237.72. It's not a smooth transition going down, but it keeps you no problem with the setup. It's just up and down quite a bit there. And these are 75-cent dollar moves, or actually more than that, because this is a 50 algo chart. So these are probably $1.50 to $2 moves. Back and forth, back and forth. Just hold your course Then you get your breakdown late afternoon. Nice $5 sell-off. UNH. UNH had broke down on the 5th. Had been fading all day on a shorter algo. You could already pick this up on the 25s. It had faded from about lunchtime on the day before. This is a big sell-off here just in itself, from 232 down to about 226 the day before. Throughout the day, and you picked that up on the smaller algo, 25 algo, probably would have had you short up in this 230 area. But here's your retracement by end of day on Thursday, right where you want to see it, set up for the short tomorrow. And this stock sold off about $8 over the day on Friday. Again, a setup you predetermined the night before. Love to see this right at the end of day. ALB, another stock that had got below, you know it's going to be a short. You've got the nice uptrend. You're looking for a trend shift. It's down here. Love this setup. It triggers, it bounces around again end of day. Next morning opens up, probably gaps down. Here's your retracement again, very early. This is probably 9:45 a.m. Right where you want to see it. There's your $5 sell-off and an easy planned entry with a low risk, high probability setup. Anthem broke down in the morning, gave this is probably almost from this point. This is probably, let's see, can't tell exactly what time this is. I know this is down around 10:30, so it chopped around a little bit and then started selling off. You could have picked this sell off on this trend line. If you drew you a trend line here on the 25 factor chart, it would have probably triggered way up here. This is a bigger trend, a bigger setup for the bigger move. This is multi factors. The factor is 50 cents. This is about a $2, $2.50 move, a little bounce there, about $1.50, and then another huge move down. That's where you go and look at those inflection points, VWAP and so forth, that we're going to be showing in a later video for training on the trading the inflections on the already. We want to get back in the trend. We're not looking to break the VWAP to go up. We're looking to fail the VWAP to go down and stay in the trend. We're trend traders. And I'm looking at the bigger trend. I get the little trend, gives a run up into the area. Then we turn around and reverse it back down. We use the smaller factor charts to time our entry to come back to the downside. This is a big sell off here, about $6 on this stock. NSC, a early morning chop that breaks into the breakdown. Now, this stock actually triggered about this same price earlier than it shows here. Had just enough height here to switch it back red to green for just a moment, and then it came right back to red when it came back down here. But this is just a little choppiness that caused that to do so. It's still trying to be a downtrend. It's already triggered. You just look for it to re-trigger, but it was still the same level all along. You take this choppiness, you look at your previous lows and so forth, time your entry. It's a short. It's never a long. Always be ready for the short. Refer to those inflection charts, and here's you a nice breakdown from 132.62. And see, all this happened before 9:44, so it gapped and did this initially, and then did all this chopping for 15 minutes. Breaks back down at 9:44. 132.62 was the trigger both places, and you've got that sell-off for a $5, $4 run here, between $4 and $5 altogether. Here's a great little retracement. This is a 25 factor chart, but this looks like about 5 factor move, and that's what we teach. When you get those sell-offs, you're going to get a 4 to 5 factor bounce. You want to come into the trend line and re-short off the price that's given right here. We don't take them right off the top. You can if it's dead on an inflection point. If you get your smaller all go in agreement before you get involved. Just keeping that stop tight if you get in too early, but you've got a nice sell-off here on a retracement back down in this area right about here for another, and that's what we teach. 4 to 5 factor bounce is going to end up getting you around 4 to 6, sometimes as many as 8 factors to the downside. Well, 8 factors from 130.50, this is a 25, that's only $2, and it fulfilled that at 128. That's how you can use a system planning trades on options and so forth, because you got an expected move. We're going to take a look at 4 or 5 more here. Be sure to subscribe to our channel while you're here. This video is being brought to you by STS Pivot System Charting Package for day traders, swing traders, and option traders. Easy to follow charts and scanners, trigger prices right on the charts, on the setups. We teach 2 trades long and 2 trades short. That's all. It's that simple. Just like you see on this chart, the trigger price for this trade was in the corner over here from this point on, with this price posted not to take it up here, and it did not trigger, but it wasn't posted as a trigger anyway. Came back. This is a classic, beautiful setup. Breaks right here. 167.26 was our trigger price. And we develop these same lines where you can overlay them on your shorter term charts. This is a 2-minute. By not taking that trade early when it went up here to 167.11, you avoided this 30-something minute pause here. It's not quite 30, about 15 minutes. This was a 60-something cent pullback by waiting on our trigger price to get in the trade here. And we were predicting that trigger price. This didn't go green until this happened. You have that up arrow where we're showing the price to go long at, and as soon as it triggers, it immediately gives a go short because it's so close to flipping back over. So that's exactly where it occurred, was right here. And that is how simple that package is to use. Trigger prices right on your charts. Got a 7-day free trial offer, 10-day money back guarantee. Once you get this set up, it's $69 a month. And we're extending as a courtesy, if you take this package, full access to the website, including the trade room if you want to come in and out of there as well. It's not part of the charting package, but it's an offer we're letting you come in if you want to. And I mentioned this in a video about a week ago that we were going to do this. Any previous member to Day Trader Setups from day one ever paid $1 to us, this $69 fee is waived. You can come in and try the 7-day trial, no outlay of cash whatsoever. If you decide you want to go with this package, then you can sign up. Going to show this chart one more second here. Something else we take and put on our inflection chart. I just put it on this one for ease to show it. The inflection chart has all the highs and the lows and the close and so forth. Just to unclutter this, I like to take and set this Bollinger Band in displaced so that when I can get my algo down below that Bollinger Band, this is the blue dotted line, I've got acceleration. And when I can get that in my favor, this is a huge move going to happen. And the same thing happens here again later. It gets that acceleration momentum headed to the downside. Showed it on this same chart here on Amgen as well. This was actually a trade that had watched this stock all day and anticipating the market to sell off. I was trying to get me a good list of stocks to watch to take some shorts on, and this ended up being one of those stocks that we did actually take a nice move down when the market gave way there about 130. This is chopped sideways. Is always a downtrend. Just enough movement here to turn it green and red. This is just choppiness right here. The downtrend is still there. And then when it started breaking back down through these lows from previously printed, we hit into the acceleration zone. This ended up being a huge trade for us going into the end of day. down, as well as a couple of other stocks. VRTX was another stock that we actually traded. Watch this, all this chop. On the bigger time frame, it was in a downtrend, and this was a smaller time frame, just chopping around sideways all day. But this 156 area was the pre-market open on this stock, not the actual open regular hours. And I've been watching that all day, and it get a little below it, and it come back, and it just would never break down. You see here, it was very close a few times as the afternoon proceeded. But when the market broke, this is one of the first stocks I went to, because when it came back and re-signal right here, it's already in the acceleration mode and momentum gaining. And this upper Bollinger Band, that wasn't true on the last chart, it started pushing away right here on the top side. And if you can get the Bollinger Band on your top side to push away when you're breaking down, that's an indicator of a bigger move to come. So I like that. It's hard to get it to respond on an algo chart, but it did. And when you get that response, you can get the bigger push to the downside too. We actually traded this stock at the same time. We had AMGN, VRTX, and INCY on that breakdown. This is PANW, gave a afternoon short. It had ran up, it gave a trigger back in along in here to an upside, middle of the morning there, about right before lunch, from 192 all the way to 196. Now that would have been right on the chart at the time, where you can see these green and yellow lines down here. That entire time it had a long watch trigger right on the chart. When it triggered, it put the line right here at the price it triggered, and that stayed there until this one appeared on the reversal. So that was a nice morning trade on PANW, 193.50 all the way up to 196. Nice $2.50 run. Got some momentum in it. Coming back down, this was the trigger to the short side at 1:50 p.m. along with the market sell-off. This triggered at 194.53 and ended up giving a couple dollar run on its own as well. American Tower, I think I looked at this one already, I'm not sure. It had been chopping sideways. It had a pretty good run the last few days, and the market was starting to sell off, and it just couldn't hold up, and it finally gave a signal here at 143.76 that morning at 10:25. It chopped around plenty. Of a great retracement alert right before the market gave way. When it pulled back down here, gave a signal 143.50. Just a couple dollar move, pretty easy to manage trade. Be sure to watch our training videos on how to read our charts and plan your trades. Very simple. Got two longs and two shorts. Prices on the chart prior to the trigger price. Also, these retracement alerts. This little box stands for red zone retracement and green zone retracement. It's always on the chart, but it's there for the purpose when we go back and we got these setups and we make the full rebounds to plan that entry off of that rejection of our red zone, maintaining the prevailing trend, and that's always right on the chart. Doesn't get much easier than that. Thanks for watching our videos. Appreciate you following us and subscribing to our channel.